Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega here with my lovely co-hostess with the co-mostess, Sarah Levine.
Oh, hello.
It's great to be here with you, Sarah. And we are joined by a special guest today. Very special. Andrea Allan. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Thank you for having me, assholes.
And who are you in brief, Andrea?
I'm a comedian, podcaster. I am the host of the Hot Mess Comedy Hour, which Danny has been on in its early days, actually.
Heck of a pod.
Heck
I can't
of a
believe Danny
pod.
doesn't host that podcast.
I know,
Oh,
right?
because I'm a hot mess? Is that you? Well, you got the hot part right, Sarah.
Yeah,
There we
Danny's very secure, as we can all tell by what he just said. Hope to have Sarah on soon, and I'm very excited. I love this show, so I'm excited to be included.
And we'll go into some faux pas that have happened between Andrea and I. But first,
Oh, God.
we have something very exciting, folks. Now, you might remember in a previous episode, we covered Would I Be the Asshole if I posted a video montage online of my neighbor throwing things in my yard? We covered the situation. It was a juicy ep, Sarah. Am I right?
It was a good one. They're all good, but
It
still.
was juicy. Well, I got a message on Facebook. This person goes, I'm OP and I have some things to say.
Shit.
So OP, and by the way, we verified, okay? Margaret, we're going to call her, sent us a video, because I know you guys, how do you know she's OP, Danny? How do you, because we saw the video.
Is this what your audience sounds like
Stop
to you?
being skeptical. I don't like
That's what
Andrea
anyone who
already.
criticizes Danny sounds like.
I don't like Andrea. Why is she? Guys, welcome to the show, quote unquote, Margaret. Margaret, thanks for being here.
Hi, thank y'all so much.
Hey, Margaret, welcome to the show.
Sorry, that was Danny.
So, Margaret, so you posted this on Reddit. You have this video montage. Your neighbor is a nightmare person. And you tell the story. We saw it. The branches in the yard.
The limbs of the trees. That threw us for a loop. That was a fun one.
Serial killer, yeah.
And Margaret, I found this interesting. You threw a party, and you mentioned that in the story. You threw a party because you had some guilt about the party. Is that what that was about?
Honestly, I did. It was rather loud. Like I said in my post, we tried 3 times to go knock on their door and talk to them about it because, I live in a college town, but the neighborhood I live in is residential.
Was it a party on a Saturday or Friday?
It was a Friday night. But still, we just wanted to, warn everyone. Just, we'd rather have them call us instead of calling the cops.
Sure.
So nice.
Yeah.
So you went in,
thank you.
you gave them the warning, and then you just included it because you felt it was part of the moral picture, so to speak, of the AITA.
Yes.
I got it. That's just plain honest. I really appreciate that.
Okay, so I think that, we left a note with our information stuff on it. I think that's actually why she wound up breaking the Halloween decorations, is that she was mad about the party.
Whoa.
Yeah, so then that was another offense. You said that she pulled up your decorations and threw them behind your bushes.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Which one did she break? Was it the giant inflatable jack-o'-lantern? Because that's my favorite one!
I know, and across the street, there were houses with decorations still up. It was like the 4th or 5th of November.
But did she pull up decorations that were in your front yard or the backyard? Because I can't remember.
Yes, no, they were in my front yard. I have they were really close to my actual house, so she picked them up, threw them behind my bushes. She managed to break one of them because they're styrofoam cardboard from 20 plus years ago. And actually, when she confronted us, when she was screaming at me, I asked her about the tombstones because she was laying all this on me, and I was like, well, you did this. And she was like, well, they kept blowing into my yard. But there's a fence between our yards. Her entire yard is fenced in.
Ugh, what is this lady's problem?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't think you really wrote in the original post that it came to a screaming match.
Yeah.
Do you want to can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I was very limited on characters. I tried 3 times to write the post, and I was always too long. I think in your previous podcast, you mentioned that I was very punctual, and that's just because it was bullet points I had to get, all my points.
This woman's a bitch. Limbs.
So the screaming match came when I saw her throwing the tree limbs over into my yard, these 3 to 4 foot limbs. So my driveway, I have a direct eyesight onto the fence into my backyard. So I was coming home with my boyfriend. I see her throwing these limbs, and I'm like, okay, it's time to end this. This is getting ridiculous.
Ugh.
So this is after we had called the cops on her, and she hid from them the first time.
Why did you call the cops on her? Sorry, I don't know the part.
We called the non-emergency line to report the vandalism because she did break one, and because this
the
is
Halloween
an area
decorations.
where people can't have guns. So my roommate and I were like, yeah, we're not going to let this escalate further. And plus, like, being college students, who would believe us over her?
Yeah, sure. Or this woman's
so I get
out of
home,
sorts.
I see these huge branches flying over, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I am fed up. I am mad. This is so disrespectful. So I get out of my car. I confront her. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Stop throwing branches into my yard. And so at this point, there's a gate deep in the backyard that allows her access into my backyard. And I had put a carabiner on it, and yes, it is pronounced carabiner, to prevent her from coming in, because before she was just walking around in my backyard.
Oh, really?
So this way she would have to, come around and actually take the carabiner off to access it that way. She starts like shaking the fence at me, screaming. I'm not a tall person. She's not a tall person. The fence is like 6 feet high. She's just screaming at me through these bars. She's like, I own 2 feet of your property. I maintain and mow it. And I'm like, lady, no, you don't. And she's like, unlock this gate. Let me in. And I was like, I can't in good conscience let you into my backyard.
No, you're crazy.
And so she just, So she starts calling me a bad neighbor. I'm a terrible person. We have parties until 2 a.m. And I was like, no, ma'am. It got shut down at midnight. I have proof. Like, we stopped it.
Only in the South would anybody give a shit if anyone calls you a bad neighbor.
I know, right?
Exactly.
You're like, good.
Exactly.
So funny.
Yeah.
I was like, what have I done? And so she said that our grass was overgrown, which it kind of was at the time, but we don't have an HOA.
Yeah, all this
And
stuff
it's the
is
backyard,
so, like,
so who
not
cares?
relevant to real life consequence. You know what I mean? Like, your grass is overgrown.
There's just no reason to yell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was like, I'm going to call the city and get you fined $300. And I was like, call them. Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So my boyfriend is sitting behind me this entire time, just making sure it's not like escalating, making sure, I'm handling myself. And she just keeps screaming at me. She's like, your friends threw beer cans over the fence and I have them in my garage and I'm going to get the police to ID them and get their saliva.
The police are going to run DNA tests on these beer cans when they have untested rape kits.
I was like, ma'am, I'm so sorry if that did happen, but I don't think that did. Like, you should have told me and I would have come clean them up, because my friends, they wouldn't have done that.
And then this was the conversation that she ended saying, do you want to make these next 4 years a living hell?
Oh, that's fun.
Yes, it is. And my boyfriend was like, nope. And he pulled me away and he was like, you're not getting into that.
You know what was weird? So when we were watching your video, I was upset. I'm looking at the cigarettes. But the thing that really hit me, did you guys ever see Signs?
No.
You never saw Signs?
No.
Oh, man. Well, this isn't going to affect you, but hopefully one of the listeners will get it. That's terrible. There's a part where you finally see the alien, and it's like a children's birthday party, and the alien just walks by.
Okay.
And it sounds so mundane, but it's like the scariest part of the movie.
Yeah.
And when your neighbor walks across the yard, I'm like, no, that is an alien. Get it out of there.
Yeah, that's very weird.
Extremely violating.
It was so brazen.
Have you considered painting her house plaid? Like, honestly, when people are this ridiculous, it just makes me want to be the equal ridiculousness back in their direction, which I don't know is good advice, but I do know that it's like fun,
Right.
My mom had all of these ideas. She wanted to go to the local news station. She wanted to post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on.
What happens if you just threw all the shit in a giant pile all at the same time?
Ooh, I like
I'm
that.
into that.
That's good,
Yeah.
Sarah.
They came back. They came back.
Oh my God. We're
that's so
dealing
psycho.
with a true unstable person.
Let me ask you this. I'm kind of curious because we don't have a lot of OPs on the show. I mean, I've been an OP and my idiot friend was an OP, but I'm curious, what is your mentality as an OP? Like, did someone go, hey, you should post this on AITA? Like, what went through your head?
Honestly, I had seen some kind of previous posts, and honestly, I just wanted to know if I would be the asshole.
Yeah, very
Because
pure.
my mom was saying, do it, and my dad was kind of hold back, be hesitant, be the bigger person. And I was just kind of I honestly did not know what to do. And I was like, let's turn to the internet.
I don't know that it's necessarily being the bigger person, but also hedging your bets to see if you do something crazy, is she going to do something crazier? Is it going to escalate it if you retaliate and make your life worse? That being said, fuck it, burn her house down. But
right.
I'm amused by shit like this. This is your actual life. So, I don't know.
Right. Well, you burned your life down, Andrea. So, no. Okay. So then, and we're looking here at the top Reddit comment, which was not the asshole, But before we post it, see if our legal advice has any suggestions for you. They might have tips on how to. So my question being though, what did you do with the response that Reddit gave you? Because obviously it was thousands and thousands of comments.
Oh yeah, I did not expect it to get that big. I thought maybe like 30 comments, a couple upvotes, and I pulled my phone back up and I was like, oh dear Lord, what have I done? So, I tried like 4 times to post a legal advice, but they just kept taking my video down and the mods wouldn't reply to me.
Ooh.
And someone DM'd them and was like, the mods are over there kind of power hungry and it's mostly cops, so I'm not surprised with them being taken down.
It's mostly cops.
So,
What?
I know.
Wow.
I know. And so eventually we just consulted an actual lawyer.
Oh, okay.
And,
Good.
yeah.
And
We
so.
consulted-
Mhm.
No, I was just repeating myself.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
go
what
ahead.
happened? What did the lawyer do? Like, what was the end result? Where did this all go?
So basically they were like, yeah, she's not in the right.
Yeah, she's trespassing.
Yeah. Well, so every time we called the cops, they were like, sucks, it's a civil issue. And they were like, we have to actually catch her in the act of being in your backyard for trespassing.
Oh my God, set up a ruse and
Yeah.
a trap.
Totally.
Oh, I wish. And I was like, she can just literally walk out like into her yard if she hears cops or something. It was so frustrating.
Get her with like a possum
And so-
trap or something.
And Margaret's in jail for kidnapping.
Right, that's true.
False
Oh.
imprisonment.
Oh,
We don't want
no.
that.
So they actually wrote us the cease and desist.
They
Awesome.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So we gave it to her, but it didn't stop there.
Oh
What?
my
So-
God.
I
No.
love this woman. I'm
No.
back in.
So as I mentioned in my post, I emailed her dean about it because the person with the university who I was corresponding with told me to email him and just honestly see his advice. And he basically wrote me back and he was like, tough shit, get a lawyer.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, that's fair. But what made me mad is that if I was doing this to her, there'd be a million consequences for me.
Yeah.
Right. It's not equal.
No.
So that's why I went to the university, is because, you know, she should be held to some standard, and I would get in a ton of trouble if I was doing this to her. So basically, like a week later, I think someone finally said something to her because I kept bugging the campus police about it, because every time she threw something over, I'd call them.
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
So I think I got on someone's nerves.
That's the
And they
key.
told her.
Persistence, yeah.
Yes. And they told her because one day this letter showed up and it was like, Dear Mary, and my roommate's name. And so I was like, okay, she doesn't know my name. Cool.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Well, it was like, I have it written down. Here it is. We hope that 2020 is the best yet. Let's rewind and become your neighbors. Anything we can do for you, please let me know. We have lived here for 30 years. All the best, Mrs. Stick Thrower and her fiance. P.S.
Mrs. Stick Thrower. Oh,
Garbage
that's
goes
your
out early Thursdays. Heart.
heart.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Wow.
Have you ever gone over there? What's the relationship now?
Okay, so she actually started throwing dog poop in my yard after that.
Holy shit.
So she's.
Did you put it back on her front porch in like a flaming bag?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to, except it had been pouring and it was just like a sloppy mess once I found it.
Paint her
Gross.
house
And I was
plaid.
like, oh, I know. So I went over there again, or not again, but so the first time we had the cease and desist letter mailed, and I was like, you know what? This obviously isn't doing anything. So I was like, I'm going to go over there and hand it to her myself.
If she violates the cease and desist, can you take further? Like, is the dog shit in the yard a violation of the cease and desist, technically?
Yes, it is,
So
but
then can
it'd
you-
be so expensive to go to court. And it was more of like not a threat, but
Right.
it was
Yeah,
kind of
like
an
I'm
easy
serious.
threat.
Yeah.
Could you get someone to dress up in a cop costume and pretend to arrest her?
That's way more illegal.
I love it. Listen,
Impersonating
there's
a
no
police
rules.
officer.
She threw shit in your fucking house.
Yeah,
Hire a
yeah,
stripper
well,
in
the
a cop
So I murdered
costume.
her bloodline. It's totally justifiable.
So
the
you
cops
went
had
back
been to her
over
house
there.
twice, and both times she hid from them, and her fiance opened the door for them. So when I went over there and gave it to her, she just, I guess she knew what it was, because she started screaming at me and how I'm a bad person, I'm a terrible neighbor, and just she went like right for the college student, like this is so petty of you. I'm a professor. Like, what did you do? Blah, blah, blah. And she's just screaming at me. And I don't know how, but I didn't burst into tears and I didn't yell at her. I just said, thank you. And I walked away.
Wow.
Nice.
YTH, you're the hero.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did that. Cause like, if you yell at me, I will burst into tears.
Well, she's nuts.
But
like, it's like there's it doesn't matter, you know.
So you handed her the letter after the dog poop incidents, and then did things finally stop?
Kind of. So she started throwing dog poops and limbs into the yard behind her.
Is she just lazy? Is that all it
with
is?
this lady?
Like, we just have to get her a personal, I don't know, garbage removal service?
The poop is personal.
No, the dog poop is new. Like, it's within the past 2 months.
Do you think it's her poop by any chance?
No.
I hope not. I hope
we
not.
don't. Do you see a dog?
Yeah, they have 4 dogs.
Okay.
Oh, they have 4 dogs.
they're crazy.
Enough said. They're those kinds of people.
Yeah.
2 dogs, you're like, good, normal. 3 dogs, you're like, that's a lot. But what 4? You're insane.
Yeah.
I agree.
This woman's insane.
Yes. Yeah.
She eats her own hair.
It's obviously dog poop. So I actually went over to the people who live behind her and told them what she was doing and sent them all the videos.
Yeah.
And I think they sent her a letter, is what they told me. But today she did it again. So I don't know.
Today she did it again to them or to you?
Yes. To them, not
feel
to
like
me.
I'm going to change my verdict.
It'd be back in her yard.
This person is a teacher?
Yes, she's actually the head
Professor.
of the art department.
I'm always like so surprised when people who have like
Art.
status. Oh, art.
I'm
That's
sorry, but I was
clicking.
like, yeah.
That's
sure.
clicking.
Does she make
My
dog poo art? Yeah.
My one thing is, I feel like you can't, unless she just moved here, like, you can't be the only person she's done this to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I wonder if you can kind of see who's lived near her and kind of band together, form some kind of class action, cease and desist, public shaming thing.
Yeah.
Do you have any theory on why this woman is doing this? Like, do you know anything else
Honestly,
about her?
She's in her like late 50s, maybe early 60s, and my boyfriend thinks that it's like the early stages of dementia because it can cause this like anger and aggression and just these outbursts. And someone on Reddit also thought that as well.
Interesting. We thought that she was young because she had a fiance. We were like, oh, she's
No,
what, 30? Whoops.
Dang, that's kind of sad.
Now it's
I'm
like,
just
now
like,
I feel
she's
kind of
literally
bad.
Crazy.
Yeah. Now I'm like telling you to destroy this crazy woman's life. Yeah.
Fascinating story. Well, I mean, overall though, I'm still like blown away. I think you have shown that, like, first of all, I'm blown away, and it is cool to know that like you literally use the subreddit as like a source of like, am I a good person? And you acted based on it, and then you didn't cry, and you handed to her, and you were polite to her. And it sounds like you never called her a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never stooped to her level.
Not to her face.
Not to her
That's
face.
fine.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, we're doing it now on a podcast, so
also-
we're definitely good people.
Right. It does seem like you kind of followed all of the Reddit steps, like the typical ones, like get a lawyer, send her a cease and desist, try to talk to her. Like, you went through all the proper channels. So
Post to Reddit.
Yeah.
post to Reddit after that. Yeah, totally.
Call into a podcast.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, overall, I am changing my verdict to a big fat YTH. You're the hero, Margaret.
I'll go with that too.
Oh, thank you so much.
I agree.
Well, Margaret, it's so fun having you. We're going to keep you on for a situation, and we're just going to plow right into the normal show, guys. We're going to start off with AITA for charging my sister £2,500. That's $3,200 in real money. For one of my, got him. For one of my paintings after her kid ruined it by you/CatFen. I'm 26 and a fairly successful artist. My sister, Lucy, 24, and her child, Ethan, were at my house during a late New Year's celebration. I had a sign posted on my art studio saying, quote, "Do not enter," and specifically made it clear to all guests that nobody was to enter that room. I'd also like to note that all my guests were asked to leave their kids at home, as this was for adults. But Lucy couldn't do that because she couldn't find a sister anyways.
Sitter.
Couldn't find a sitter, excuse me. Sometimes a sister is a sitter,
That's
but
true.
not all the time. It's 10 p.m. and I hear a loud crash from my studio. I run up and see paint all over my recent work. that so far had taken 15 hours to do. I've never spent 15 hours on a single project in my entire life, guys. Ethan was sitting there laughing, rubbing paint into my work. It's now unsalvageable, and I have to restart the project, which also puts me behind for the rest of my work now. Fun fact, the writer of this is actually the crazy professor in the previous.
Yeah. And the painting was made of dog poop.
Ooh.
I
that's
immediately
scary.
I immediately asked Ethan and Lucy to leave, and the next day I sent her a bill for the work, £2,500, which is lower than what I would have gotten for the work anyway. Wow. She's absolutely screaming about it. The whole family is divided. My mom hates me. My dad completely agrees with me. Surprise, my dad is an artist. My mom is more, quote, smart.
You know how stupid artists are.
Yeah, what is the...
Ouch.
My sister's husband agrees with me. I will admittedly say I don't enjoy kids or their company. Wow.
Preach.
Didn't need to include that. But I've always been a great auntie. Presents at Christmas, gifts from vacation, everything he's wanted. Am I the asshole for charging my sister £2,500?
So I actually was going to cut the part about how she's like, I will admittedly say I don't like kids, but a bunch of people picked up on that and then started extrapolating. So I decided to leave it in for fun.
There's definitely something to pull from that. I mean... to me, this has nothing to do with the child, except that the child is the accidental function, the unpredictable function.
Yeah.
It could have been a dog, a child, a monkey, any kind of creature, really.
Absolutely.
So I leave my monkey at home.
Yeah, don't bring your monkey anymore. That monkey throws poop, just like an art professor.
I don't know. I completely agree with this woman. The only thing that I would say is the amount that she's charging her the complete cost of the work or the cost of the time spent that she's done so far? Because I think that makes a difference.
Yeah, she did say it's less. This was like a commissioned piece from someone. I cut that out. But she did say that it was less than what the person would have paid her for it.
Right.
Yeah, she says that. Yeah, I mean, my intuition, though, and I've said this before, which is like money is real, right? Like, I don't know.
Groundbreaking. Yeah.
No, but that means something. I know it sounds trite, but I'm an idiot. Look, I went to ASU. Cut me some slack, Andrea. Yeah. But I'm trying to say that, look, is it okay to charge your sister $3.2K? Well, if your sister can afford to pay you that, then probably it's okay. But like, if you're just legitimately being crazy, like, it's 15 hours of your time. I'm sorry, but like, maybe let it go. I'm not saying she should let it go. Like, if her sister is comfortable and that's not like an insane amount of money, but for a lot of people, that is like a life-changing amount of money.
Yeah. And I would say for someone who, if you do the math, had a kid at 15 years old, she probably does not have $3,000 lying around.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's a great observation.
But the husband agrees with her, which makes me think that they can pay, because the husband wouldn't agree if he didn't have the money for it. Do you know what I mean? That's a great point. Her sister's husband agrees, so it can't be completely unreasonable within like their family structure.
Because that's her sister, and she said my sister's husband agrees with me. Right.
Yeah.
Margaret, what do you think?
Okay, so I actually saw this when it was posted, and I believe that OP said that the child in question was 8 years old.
Oh, weird.
Nine.
So that's really old. So like, that's purposeful, like vengeful, like this was no accident. So I think that she should honestly charge like the cost of the materials and her working hours, but I don't think she should charge the full price.
Maybe zap Ethan with £2,500 with interest, and welcome to American style living, you little British kid.
Yeah. I also don't like children. And I don't like when you ask people not to bring their kids places and they do. Like when people, as a comedian, when someone brings a kid to a comedy club, I'm like, stop it. This is not for them. You're being a bad parent. Now you ruined everyone's night. I don't care that you fucking nutted in someone and now you have a child.
You're my favorite comedian.
I don't give a shit.
You're my favorite comedian.
You're an irresponsible
I love
person.
Your act. It's so funny.
Irresponsible person, and I completely agree with this. You don't go. It would be like her going to your job and fucking up your job or fucking up part of like your work so you couldn't get your salary. It's the same thing. It's being irresponsible.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if we could do that, if that would help change my view. I guess because part of me is like, look, you're doing this hourly thing. But like, what if it was an architect and his model, right?
Yeah.
You destroy a model. Yeah, I mean, I guess I just kind of go back to that same principle. Like, what are you really charging? Like, are you going to destroy their lives? Are you going to really impact their lifestyle?
could she make the kid work it off in a way? Like the kid
As an art
volunteers at the
apprentice.
studio. I don't know.
That seems ridiculous.
Well,
I don't think a 9-year-old understands 2,500 pounds. That's like when you're 9, $1 is like, oh my
Sure.
God.
No, I know. I'm not
can
saying
buy
like put the kid
4
in a
candies.
work camp, but I'm saying like the kid goes to the sister's studio and helps her clean a few hours a week so that the
she
kid
doesn't
understands
want that.
consequences.
So that does bring the question, like, who really should be kind of punished? Is it the kid or is it the parent?
the kid should understand there's consequences to destroying other people's property.
Yes, that
For
should
sure.
be taught. That should be
Yes.
taught.
As someone who's destroyed other people's property and experienced consequences for it, I think that's definitely a lesson that needs to be learned.
You know what? I've done this. I actually borrowed my friend's van, and
It was last week.
It was and it was an old van, and my friend had a really fancy sports car, and he would turn it off while driving.
Yeah.
And I turned off the van while driving, and then turned it back on, which broke the van.
Oh, you broke a
And
whole car.
I broke a whole car. I
Wow.
mean, this car had like 500,000 miles on it. Like, this was the oldest van known to
Yeah.
man.
Wait, what's the appeal of turning something off while you're driving it and then turning it back on?
When you're
To be the master of
16,
your own.
it's like the coolest thing you've ever seen for no reason. Look, I didn't
I'll
have a lot
take your
going
word
on,
for it.
Sarah.
All right.
I lived in the desert.
Yeah.
YouTube didn't load back then. We had dial-up. It was terrible. It was
So-
DSL, but it wasn't fast enough.
You were just like, I'm going to turn this car off right in the middle of it being on.
Yep.
Bitches.
and then you were stuck in the intersection.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. And I paid it, and I did learn a lesson. However, I was like 16 or 18, or it all
Yeah.
blurs together. I was
Right,
smoking a
he's
lot of
9.
pot.
He can't exactly go out here and get a job.
Exactly.
And work it off.
I don't think. I mean, I think the kid needs to be taught
Give
a
the
lesson.
kid a job.
A lesson, but not the lesson, right? But then, so is what the sister did so wrong? That's what's kind of hurting my head. Like, does
Well,
this?
she didn't have eyes on her kid for long enough for him to do some serious
Yeah.
damage. Also, it's 10 p.m. He should be in bed. My parents never let me stay up until 10.
Also, it's like, okay, so you know when people go, this is not exactly a lateral example, but you know when people go to restaurants and they bring their kid and their kid screams the whole time,
and
you're like, you don't get to go to a restaurant. Like, I'm sorry that you want to have a life right now, but you can't
Yeah.
because you have a child.
Right.
So I understand, but that's what you fucking signed up for. You have something that shits its pants and can't walk around
Right.
without your help. Your life is different. We don't all suffer because you made a decision to have a
So
child.
you're saying if you're an adult and you're a parent, you have your kid start screaming, well, can't you take the kid out of the restaurant?
Yeah,
or something
totally.
like
I'm
that?
not
Okay,
like you
okay.
can't go anywhere with children. I mean, I
Right,
love that, but but I do think that like you have to accept that your life is going to be changed and everyone else shouldn't have to suffer around you. Also, she's being specific that she doesn't like children. Obviously, she loves this kid because she's related to them, but she was having an adult party and the sister said, I want to do what I want to do. You're adult. Just because you have rules doesn't mean I follow them.
You know what? That's switching me now
Yeah.
because the sister also did not own the fact that she should have been watching Ethan.
Danny's like hitting me with a paper
Yes.
right now.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know
what
why.
did
It
I
just
do to
clicked.
deserve this?
It's a breakthrough, Sarah. I wanted to bring you into my breakthrough.
Yes.
The sister needed to be like, well, this is my role. I'm watching the demon Ethan.
Yeah.
If that's
Well,
what it's going
yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
Jess P writes, NTA, as an artist myself, people often majorly devalue our work.
Yeah.
They think it's less valuable because we enjoy it. What if you were a graphic designer and that kid smashed your computer and hard drive? What if you were a mechanic and they blew up the car you were fixing for a customer?
Well, then you would call the
Same
police.
consequences.
If he was blowing up cars
I mean, Danny turned
I
off a
agree.
car halfway through, so
Right.
and he wasn't even 9.
yeah.
Steiner M writes, NTA parents are responsible for their kids. That seems a pretty clean sentence there.
Yeah.
You warn them not to bring the child and are charging less than your original price.
Yeah.
Seems pretty reasonable. Alana K, everyone sucks here. Slight difference. Your sister is wrong and your nephew is wrong. Your livelihood is important. But is this incident worth creating a divide in your family? Parents taking sides? Unless you care as little about family as you do about kids, you could have opted to be the bigger person. Sending a bill rather than communicating like family is an asshole move. I kind of agree. I think it's a little weird to get on about communication, but had she sat down and been like, hey, this is what happened. Like I always say, sometimes it's best to like set up the situation, set up the emotions that she's feeling, which is like, my shit got destroyed. I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And let the other person offer. But that said, I don't think she was going to offer. I think that any decent person would offer. Who can afford it?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's also her husband thinks they should pay. So there's something going on between these two sisters, I think, that like she's not immediately concerned that her kid is ruining an important piece of artwork. You know?
I see a cattiness there.
Yeah, for
Is
sure. I
that
mean,
fair?
women are very catty. I've always said that.
Women are one way and men are the other way, and there ain't no bones about it.
There you
Women
go.
just can't disagree.
That's hilarious. Women
Right.
turn into cats.
Yeah. Whenever we have legitimate gripes, it's always with a at the end of it.
Yeah, why do people say that? Why do people
It's
say
sexist.
women are catty?
Sexism,
It's sexist.
centuries of
Sexist? There's no
misogyny.
backing out.
I don't
Yeah.
say men are doggy. You know what I mean?
I'm doggy.
Yeah,
I'm doggy.
yeah.
I'm comfortable with
Yeah.
that.
I also, as someone who is estranged from a family member, I don't appreciate this fucking guilt-ridden, like, are you gonna break up the family? Like, our obsession with family is so goddamn ridiculous. And I'm not saying that, like, this family it's worthy of, like, destroying all the relationships, but it kind of plays into this narrative of, like, you just have to take everything
Right,
from
right.
family in the name of family is this sacred thing. But it's like, I don't know, people molest their kids. Let's actually look at, like,
Right.
the full picture of everyone's behavior and not just say, like, blood is thicker than water.
Right. Toxicity is not usually an isolated incident.
No.
Like, this sister has a history of some sort. Probably like, oh, you're doing your little paintings in
Yeah.
there. Like, shit comments like that. Top Reddit comment, STL River Girl writes, NTA, A, kids aren't welcome at your event. She chose to bring her child. B, you clearly marked off the room. C, she wasn't supervising her child, which is how he was able to gain entrance to a blocked off room and destroy your work. You absolutely deserve to be compensated for your work.
bitch.
Yeah, it sounded like
D, the kid is 9, not a toddler, well into the age to differentiate right from wrong. I don't know. I don't know if a 9-year-old would do well in the pod. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I've worked with kids who were like 9, 10. They, honestly, you can level with them a lot more than you think. He definitely knows that a sign that says "Do not enter" means don't go in here.
I've partied with kids that are 9 or 10. Everyone gets upset. So I don't know about that, Sarah.
Sorry to hear it.
Bad
Kids
joke.
throwing limbs in your backyard. This is a bad kid. I don't like this kid.
Margaret, any further commentary on the situation?
Yeah, so like I was a soccer ref for many, many years. I work with kids like from 3 years old to 12 years old, and you can definitely level with an 8, 9-year-old. Like,
Yeah.
they know what's going on.
Mhm.
Like they're gonna bullshit you occasionally because they try to play dumb. But
Yeah.
I understand this kid looking into a room that said "Do not enter" because that's just curiosity. But the fact that he went that far,
Right.
And so-
like, I'm sure there was a
playing with
blank
paints.
canvas somewhere else he could have messed with.
Yeah. Yeah. This kid's a demon.
Honestly, the audacity to go in someone's room and be like, I'm just going to start touching all this stuff that's not mine and fucking up more stuff that's not mine.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a disciplinary problem with this kid. And
Yeah,
he's-
so I do think ultimately the kid needs to learn a lesson, but if anyone's going to actually pay, it's
the
really the
parents, yeah.
parents.
Send
Yeah.
this kid to prison.
Yeah.
Lock him up.
Yeah.
AITA for charging my sister £2,500 for one of my paintings after kid ruined it. I think we all agree, not the
No,
asshole.
I don't think so.
Yep.
And the other person is, which is like a combination of the child and the sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bankrupt them.
Put them in debt.
Yeah.
Well, Margaret, it's been great having you. Thank you so much, and we hope to talk to you again. Well, I hope bad things don't happen to you.
Yeah,
but I hope,
Please keep us posted. Just honestly for our own private knowledge, not for the podcast. We are now invested, and we hope everything goes well.
Oh yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all having me on here.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Keep throwing limbs.
Thanks, you too. Yes, exactly.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, for this next situation, we actually have someone who was on our call-in show. I messed up the audio. You guys know how it is with the computers and the phones, and I smoked hemp before. I don't know what happened. I messed it up.
You're smoking hemp. I love this for you. It's
So-
Is
so
that
funny.
something you can do?
Yes, you can smoke hemp. And let me tell you, it is one of my favorite kinds of placebos. Emily, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you guys. Emily is one of our Patreon members. And Emily, tell me, is it worth it?
it's absolutely 1,000% worth it.
Hell yeah.
I was going to say,
Everyone should do
only
it.
yes answers will be accepted. Anything else will like manipulate you. It'll be like, Emily, what do you think? It's totally great.
Yeah. I love it. It is so much fun.
It's a robot voice. Emily, anything you want to share about yourself that might inform your perspective? I know it's a weird thing. Like, give us a fun fact, but...
What's your elevator pitch, Emily?
Oh, I'm an opera singer and I live in Las Vegas.
Oh, cool.
That's all I got.
Wow, that's a hell of a pitch.
That's super fun. That's funner than anyone in this room.
You know, as a comedian, comedians hate when people say, tell me a joke. Is it equally faux pas to say, can you sing me a song since you're an opera singer?
Supposed to have neck surgery today.
Oh, my God.
And when I was and then when I was in the hospital, they were like, oh, actually, your insurance declined it. So I took, can I say fuck? I guess
Yeah.
I took a fuck ton of medication earlier that messed with my voice, and it's still, you know.
Oh, my God.
A lot of singers hate it. Under normal circumstances, I don't mind, but it's been a super weird day. I was at the hospital all day, and then they're like, oh, just kidding.
So you're getting a new neck? What's going on?
I have the neck of an 80-year-old, so they're going to put titanium in there. Once my insurance actually is like, cool story, we'll do it.
Whoa.
Awesome.
So.
You have a robot neck. That's awesome, dude.
Well,
It's going to be great. I'm the best robot ever. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going with you through the TSA metal detectors.
Seriously.
I'd actually like to
That's
sing...
like the second thing they said. They're like, oh, don't worry, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't set it off. That's
They're
cool.
like, they don't catch anything.
I'll be
there.
like, damn, it's Emily's fault that I have all my guns.
I'd like to sing a little song I came up with. It's
love
The American healthcare system is broken.
yeah, I agree
I
with
sing
that.
that today, too.
It's a hit. It's a number one on the Billboard charts.
For your broken neck, my God.
Wow.
Poor thing.
Well, thank you so much,
yeah.
like extra double time for coming on with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's get right to brass tacks here, folks. AITA for being pissed that I got a Peloton for my birthday.
No.
Peloton.
Peloton.
It's
Yes.
the exercise bike.
Right, and you get it, and then it has a subscription model. You have to rent the sort of like, you have to pay for a video service of a girl doing the
Yes.
biking.
How have you guys heard the jokes about the Peloton holiday bike commercials?
Oh, that's what I thought we were reading. I thought it was like a fanfic.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, Danny, but during the holiday season, there was a commercial
Yes, I saw it.
of
Yeah,
a
I think I
woman
know what you're talking
whose like boyfriend or husband got her a Peloton bike, and basically it's just her waking up every morning like, exercising is great.
But looking
Right.
like she's being held at gunpoint. Like
Yeah.
her eyes
Oh,
are
yeah.
terrified.
Yeah, like
hilarious.
And her face is like, yeah, we're going to get on the bike today. I'm nervous. Why are you nervous? You're by yourself. That's the
Yeah.
whole point.
and she's like, gotta be skinny so he doesn't leave. Anyways, I love it. Fitness.
And she's
hell.
already like 2 pounds.
Yes, she was so skinny. And then I believe it was Ryan Reynolds. Yes, made like a joke parody commercial of it with the actress who was in the Peloton commercial to make fun of the fact that she looked like an abused woman. Yeah.
Wait,
It was for his gym company, wasn't it? He was like,
Yeah.
Yes.
It was great. I've spent more time than I'd like to admit watching both commercials.
Yeah.
Fine.
wow.
I love when a celebrity is like real as fuck. It's so fun
Yes.
to me.
I like the commercial. Anyway, I'm joking. I'm joking, guys.
Are you?
If
So-
you get Danny a Peloton, I'm like gonna have a serious talk with her.
I'll
so,
like start drinking juice in the morning. Oh, Danny, my girlfriend, I got.
yeah. I was like, if you start buying her Pelotons, I'm getting her out of there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised you
That's
haven't,
a hostage
honestly.
situation.
AITA for being pissed. I got a Peloton for my birthday by you. Peloton throwaway. So I realize I already sound like a brat. This is the most expensive present I have ever received in my life, and I enjoy spin classes, but the backstory is what is important here. About a month ago, my significant other said he had spoken with my sister and came up with some ideas for my birthday, and would I like to hear them? I obviously said yes, and the first thing on the list was a Peloton. I have never had any interest in a Peloton.
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 He's just butchering
There's
it
two
purposely.
definitions. There's two pronunciations, Andrea.
The
It
right way and the wrong way.
It comes from the Latin word hate women. And as you can see by the spelling in my throwaway username, I can't even spell it right, let alone know anything about it. I said, no thanks, it's way too expensive, and I have no interest in it. I work out at work where I spin 2 to 4 times a week and watch YouTube spin videos.
Okay.
By the way, check out the AITA Podcast Clips YouTube channel. I have an hour lunch break and go to
That's
the gym.
in there.
Yeah, sick plug.
Then to make sure I actually get the workouts done. She does that during her lunch. That's nice. After providing that explanation, I follow up multiple times in the week saying, please, Do not buy me a Peloton. If you ordered a Peloton, please cancel the Peloton order and return the Peloton.
I hate
Today, the day before my birthday,
Peloton.
I walk down into the basement and there's the damn Peloton. I'm immediately pissed off. Ask why when I said countless times I didn't want a Peloton. There one is in my basement, a Peloton. My fiance just stared at me blankly. He thought I would change my mind when I saw it. I maintain that I've told him 10 plus times that I don't want a Peloton. And why would he expect me to change my mind regarding the Peloton? We are not currently speaking because he's pissed. I'm not happy with the gift of a Peloton. AITA.
I hate you so much.
You're the worst person alive.
Am I? Or is it the guy who got her the Peloton?
I mean, you're always the asshole is like a rule in life, but I definitely think that her boyfriend is an asshole for sure.
I don't really get the boyfriend's motivation because she's clearly, I mean, he must be a real piece of shit. She's already spending 2 to 4 times a week.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Okay, guys, I feel like I always go like this abuse route in my head, but honestly, the fact that she opened up the post with, I know this is going to make me sound like a brat. This is the most expensive present. I was like, I think this is a woman whose self-esteem has been beaten down, and he's pulling the whole like, how dare you not be grateful I spent all this money on you act.
I don't know.
This is
I'll push back
classic
on that.
gaslighty bullshit.
Thank you.
Well, it could be. It could be. I don't deny that, but I just also feel like a Peloton. I want to kill all the men.
With the Peloton.
Andrea, I said I would join you in the genocide. Now,
thank you.
A Peloton costs $2.5K. I looked it up recently.
Yeah, it's a very expensive.
So I think it could also be coming from. I know Sarah likes to play armchair psychologist, but I feel like not that I don't, but
yeah, I was like, we both do that.
I feel like it comes from a classist place as well, you know, because it's being like, oh, I'm so sad that I got a $2,000 exercise.
Well, it could if you take that in a vacuum, but then the fact that she has told him explicitly in plain fucking English multiple times that she doesn't want this Peloton, and he gave it to her anyway, and then acted, it's Peloton? No. God damn it.
I'm gaslighting you now.
I confused you guys.
Yeah. And then he acts surprised that she didn't want it when she's like, I told you 10
you're right.
times.
That is insane. That is
coupled with the opening is making me think like, what is this man really doing in this relationship?
I never want exercise equipment as a gift. I don't even care how I could be fat as fuck. I never want you to buy me exercise equipment.
Yep.
I never want you to buy me gym clothes. I never want you to buy me. Women are already being told constantly through like the media and the world that we're not good enough. I don't need my gift to be a self-improvement in the area of my looks.
Right.
I already fight that battle on a daily basis. Fuck off.
Damn,
Give
Andrea,
me the
we
cash.
have to hang out more.
Give me the cash, you piece of shit.
Yep.
Oh my God. Or I'll get you fucking dick pills. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, I think a guy would be happy to get
I get you a subscription for a penis pump and Blue Chew.
I've always wondered,
cunt.
you know.
Or those like fake ads that you see on Pornhub that's like, grow your penis by 8 inches. Like, what if I got someone that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, 8 inches? That's 10 more than I have. Emily, what do you make of all this?
This is so much money, and if they said fiance, I'm assuming they're planning a wedding.
Yes, that's
The
true.
cost of their flowers. It seems really misguided. All of the weird bullshit of he's giving her exercise equipment aside, that's a big chunk of money.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to talk about that with someone you're going to get married to.
That's a very good point.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it's also like he weirdly ropes the sister into it in a way that I don't love. That it's like, well, your sister said... Like, what is
and
this?
You don't know if sister thought that she was fat the whole time and is now like, yeah, you're fat. Here's your bike.
I once had a boyfriend take me to a yoga class, and I was gaining weight. Again, I'm not condoning this behavior, but he took me to a yoga class, and he was like, you know, I just think it's really good for you to like focus on your health. And clearly he wanted me to lose weight. I would so prefer if you don't feel attracted to your partner because their body has changed a lot since you started dating. I think that's a very difficult conversation to have. But if you're going to marry someone, you should be able to have a conversation about this is something that happens. I'm not saying that like you can never make comments about anyone's body or looks ever. You do want to, you're sexual with them, but like, just throwing $2,000 at a Peloton and calling her like an ungrateful bitch is not the move.
Well,
I didn't even get a sense that this was. Yeah, I would even almost be willing to say that this is like coming from a good idea because she already goes to spin class. So he's probably
That's
like, to me, this didn't read as like he's trying to totally fat shame her or get her to change. He was probably like, oh, she already likes spin. Let me get her a bike. And she's like, no, I don't want the bike. And he's like, women, you don't know what you want. I'm going to get it for you anyway. And then you'll realize.
It's also lazy. It's super lazy. Because she already said no to the gift. So come up with another gift.
Right. I mean, I will try to defend a little bit because there are times the oscillating decision making is a thing, but the fact that she reminded him like dozens of times is like there was clearly no doubt. This wasn't because sometimes my girlfriend will do like this, like I want to go, I'm not sure if we should go, should we go? I want to go, I don't want to go, and it's like what's going on, and then eventually I just have to like decide for her. But like this is clearly not that.
Did you ask her if she's on her period then, or
no, she's on the what's that called when they put the robot
IUD?
Inside you? Yeah, the IUD.
Yeah. Danny, I'm going to throw you out the window. Okay.
A little robot that's like,
Sorry, no semen may enter. Blah, 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 blah.
Stephen J. writes.
Exactly how it works.
Yes, I know how the vaginas work. NTA, we men complain about hints, and here you are literally saying, quote, don't buy me this. Seems cut and dry to me, emoji of a man throwing his arms up.
Yeah. You always say that. You know that it's a shrug. Like, you know that there's a concise
No, a shrug is when you put your shoulders up.
This is a shrug.
No.
Yes.
That's like a...
This is also a shrug. Anyway, Stephen J. for president.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Nate S. writes, NTA, if it was just a bad gift, then you'd be the asshole for your response. But you specifically said you do not want this gift and your fiance got it anyway, implying he thinks he knows what you want better than you do. He sounds like a real dick. Emoji of Sarah mad at me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't know that was an emoji.
You know it's called the side-eye, Danny. Quit playing.
Oh, side-eye. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty cut and dry. You shouldn't get someone a gift that they repeatedly tell you not to get. And I think Emily pointed out something great that, like, I don't know if I'm ready to go as far as you guys with the, like, abusive narcissism. But, like,
I love that's how my voice sounds.
You're not necessarily wrong. I just don't know if I can leap that far. But I can definitely go into, like, this is, like, a toxic thing to do.
We're not saying that that's definitely what happened.
Yeah.
We're just kind of wondering if this is also going on because I think everything that you read on Reddit, it's like these problems rarely ever occur in a vacuum. It's always like, my fiance and I have a great relationship. We get along so well, except he does this thing where he kind of chokes me almost until I die. And then, is that wrong? Am I overreacting? Like,
I woke up in the woods. Is that weird to wake up in the woods?
Yeah, it's like we don't know these people, but if a good friend of mine was like, my fiance keeps trying to buy me an exercise bike, I'd be like, all right, let's talk about the entire relationship.
Yeah, you have to kind of poke at like what else is possibly going on. And to us, it's like a blatant disregard of her desires.
Yeah.
And him trying to steamroll over them.
There's no way he's making her come. Let's be honest about that.
Top Reddit comment. Hey, there's nothing wrong with not being able to make a woman come. Disregardable writes.
I disagree.
Disregardable, this top Reddit comment writes, that's actually worse than thoughtless. It's intentionally disregarding your feelings. He may as well have gotten you something to put in his truck.
This guy would have a truck.
That's spot on.
Yeah.
Some people do believe that you should show appreciation regardless of how shitty the gift is. I'm not one of them. Yeah, I mean, this is like obstinate. It's not even shitty. It's, you know what I mean?
And there was a comment in the Facebook group that's like, oh, you're being a brat. You should be grateful for any gift. And listen, I think that if it was a friend, if it was your secret Santa, yes.
Yeah.
But this is your fiance. Like, if you can't
get married.
Exactly.
This is your person you're theoretically choosing your whole life. And you've said how many times, I don't want this thing. And he's like, screw it. I'm going to do it anyways. Maybe that should come up in premarital counseling.
Exactly.
Maybe a thing.
I'm with you.
It's almost the cousin of buying someone a vacuum. You know, it's not exactly, but it's
hilarious.
In that same area.
Wait, why? Dysons are expensive. I would like one.
I would love
a vacuum. That's such a condescending. We've done an ATA about this, Sarah.
No, we didn't.
Yes, the guy. This is one of the classics. Maybe me and you didn't do it. Maybe it was me and it. The guy who got his wife. Him and the kids cleaned the house.
Yeah.
For the wife.
That's a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
You think getting a vacuum cleaner isn't similar?
Dude, hell yeah.
I completely agree with Andrea that's the cousin of this.
They're both in the same range in that they are like, here's a gift for you to do more work. You know what I mean?
For me.
Okay,
Yeah,
That is
for
true.
what if
my
they request
benefit.
it? Because I definitely bought my husband a vacuum, but it's what he
Okay,
really
that's
wanted
where
to
I was
wear.
thinking. I
Yeah.
was like, I'd be happy
Well, if you
I
bought
got
it
a
for your
vacuum.
husband too, that's like subverting gender norms. I feel like that's a totally different thing.
Hell
He's,
yeah,
he's
dude.
probably like, give me a
Okay, that's
powerful
fair.
one.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the little ball sack of the bulls on the vacuum.
To be
It's
clear, I
very
would love to
fancy.
get a vacuum, but if I never mentioned it and they were like, and
That's
my
fair.
significant other was like, I bought you cleaning supplies and a
Right.
gym membership and hair dye and fake
There we go.
tits.
There we go.
There we go. Yes,
That's the
that
whole
is
family.
And we're
Yeah.
moving to Stepford.
Yeah. And also, I'm slapping the food out of your hand.
Oh,
Emily, anything else to add?
It's just all kind of icky, and it just feels. I feel like the issue isn't even so much the stupid bike, the Peloton, as I'm going to call it for the rest of my life. It's more
The
some
Peloton.
huge communication thing that you should. It's not even like they're dating; they're getting married. This is a big. I don't know. You might want to address that thing here before you get. This year it's a bike. Next year it's a 10-day cruise to Europe in the middle of the biggest moment of your career. I don't know.
and then the
Right,
next year
right.
it's a fair fake boob. Fair fake boobs. you
Yeah.
know?
And a vacuum.
I think that boils it down nicely. This was inconsiderate.
Yeah.
It frankly was just kind of like rude and disrespectful.
Yep.
And also like with my girlfriend, like if I was gonna get something like a Peloton, which takes up room, which
Yeah.
obviously is a New York thing, how like space conscious you are, but like that has to be cleared. I
Yeah.
can't just get a thing that takes up space.
Yeah.
I have to be a good boy.
Peloton is also a particularly, like, it falls into the same category of Equinox or like
Sure,
luxury fitness things.
Yes.
Which the type of people who participate in that, especially men who want women to participate in that, seems like they're looking for a particular type of woman. And this lady does not seem like she fits that mold. Do you know what I mean? It's
No,
like, I want you
not
to
at all.
be this, I don't know, this like fancy trophy wife-ish person.
Yeah.
She's like, I watch YouTube videos and I bike during my, she reads is a little bit more
She's
down
like
to earth.
DIY. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is plain practical.
Yeah.
Right. Also, just on like a practical standpoint, someone was like, well, why don't you just resell it? And it's not that easy because it's like, who's going to drop a couple $1,000s on an exercise bike that you also have to get a subscription
Yeah.
service
it's
to every
terrible.
month?
And you
It's-
can't
yeah.
use it. You can't use it without the subscription.
really?
yeah,
I'm
it's
pretty
not
sure you
easy
can't.
to offload this to somebody else. Like, this
No.
was poor.
He should
choices.
go on the Peloton. She should make him go on the
Oh
Peloton.
my God, make him video blog it
Yeah.
every
There you
day.
go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we all agree. AITA for being pissed that I got a Peloton for my birthday, not the asshole, and he is.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
1,000%.
Well, Emily, I'm so happy we finally had you on the pod. It was a joy and a pleasure. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about?
No, just thank you guys. This was awesome, and it was a weird day. So thank you guys for turning it around.
Yeah,
I'm
good
glad
luck
you
with
had me
your
on pod.
neck.
Yeah, I feel better.
Jeez.
Thanks. Hopefully, I get my surgery soon.
Well,
We'll find out.
Keep us in the loop. And please, everybody, join us on Patreon. And please, Emily, let us know if there's anything you want on the Patreon. We're always trying to do extra stuff. All right, now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. Haven't said that for a while. AITA, if I go off on my cousin and call her out on her shit. I got married in December. My cousin begged me to be a bridesmaid. I didn't want to be rude, so I let her. I paid for all the dresses, over $200 a piece. She texted me a week before the wedding and asked me to hold the wedding off an hour because she couldn't get the day off work and would not get off until 30 minutes after my wedding is scheduled to start. She got this job 2 weeks before she told me this and did not try to get the day off, saying they don't allow days requested the first 90 days. Obviously, I say, hell no, I'm not holding my wedding. Everyone will be there at 4, and the photographer and preacher were already paid for those hours. I told her I would have to replace her. Wedding comes, and she doesn't even bother to show, along with her mom and grandparents. Fast forward to now. She's 20 years old. Keep in mind, she texts me and asks if I'm selling any wedding decorations because her friend is getting married. I ignore her. The next day, she posts on Facebook she found the dress for her wedding that I didn't even know was happening my whole life. She has copied every single thing I do, down to hairstyle, the way I decorate my home, and the cars I drive. How many cars can you drive? Mm-hmm. So I'm pissed and feel like she is literally just getting married to copy me and put the attention on her. She announced this less than a month after my wedding and never mentioned getting married before. So now I feel like she's going to use the same color scheme as me, since she was really wanting my wedding decorations for her and not her friend, and I'm pissed. On top of that, she posted a picture of her shoes, which are the exact same shoes I wore to my wedding, and had the nerve to text me and ask me how much it was to rent the venue that I used. AITA, if I go off on her for all of this.
Yikes. I think even just the beginning part with the bridesmaid thing is kind of nuts. And I think she would have a right to be mad about that, because if you start a job, they typically ask you, like, do you have any vacations planned, whatever. They would probably allow her to take off for a wedding that she was a bridesmaid in. And also, I hate people who have no sense of timing. It's just like...
Me too.
It's like if you got off work, let's say her wedding's at 4. You don't get off work until 5. You're not going to make it to her wedding in half an hour. Like, you would still be late. You'd have to get ready. Like, you'd still miss the wedding.
Right.
So she would have a right to be mad about all of that, but anywhere after that, I'm not so sure.
I don't know. The second half of this letter is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, the second half is unhinged.
Yeah.
Guys,
I don't give a shit about shoes.
Be a little easy on the listener. I understand where she's coming from.
Do you?
Yes.
I do too. I get why you'd feel salty, but...
Salty, Sarah. Everyone has this cousin.
I don't have this cousin.
This friend, you're not
Shouts
thinking
out.
hard enough. They're in your life. They're that person who copies you. And I know OP is young. I know they're on the young side because copying it's endemic in the young.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you don't know who you are yet. And so you know what? You copy. This is what I want to stress to OP. I get where she's coming from. Yeah. She's huffy because first she was slighted brutally. It was brutal what happened, Sarah.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
It was brutal.
What the cousin did.
It was messed up, and then she didn't even show. That is disrespectful.
That's super whack.
That's super whack. And look, I get it. Well, I think a lot of us are ready to come for her because she's like, wow, she's copying me. But I get it. She is copying her. I believe OP. And even though we now know, like, if Sarah, you started copying me or whatever, I mean, you kind of do. You started saying Peloton and taking all my personality stuff and.
You have no personality. You've admitted this before many times.
I have a great personality. I like computers. So, but I feel that what she needs to understand is imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
I also feel like this is just not really the right forum. Like, the wedding stuff, okay, that's fair. That's cut and dry. But then when she tries to delve into, like, my whole life, she's copied every single thing I do, the hairstyle, the cars, the way I decorate my home. Like, she's 20. How long could she have really driven a car for? Like,
a couple of years. There's time.
At the most.
There's time.
No, unless you're wrecking your car every year, you're getting what, like a 3-year lease?
Maybe she wrecked her car. Maybe a drunk driver hit her, you know.
She's probably had 2 cars at the most. I just think that whole paragraph is like, okay, now you're stretching it a bit.
Well, I mean, I do think it's a little immature. I mean, I feel like age teaches you, like, there's only like 9 personalities you can have. You're like, I like coffee. Oh, I like coffee too. Great.
Yeah, but it's like, also, I mean, it's kind of like how many haircuts are, how many haircuts are in at one time? How many people drive a Toyota Corolla? You know what I mean? Like,
everyone drives a Toyota.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, good.
Well, I'm saying, like, she could be perceiving, like, some of this stuff. To me, she seems like she's, like, projecting a little bit too far in the past, and she's like, my hairstyle is the way I decorate my home, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, everybody has a live, laugh, love poster, Becky. Like, calm down. She's not copying you. You guys just all probably like the same shit.
I think both are true. I think that you're right that she's overreacting to the copying, but I think the copying is very real and very feelable. And that is what I think this is about, because I think the cousin was trying to pull a nuclear slight because she was pissed that she didn't move the wedding, which is an insane thing to expect.
Yeah. Totally.
But I think
because
that's where
you fucked up and didn't ask your employer in advance.
Also, who gets married to spite someone else? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to suggest.
Very crazy thing to do.
But I think this girl is, she's 20. She's insane.
That's what I'm saying.
She's
this is all
literally
stupid.
like, her brain doesn't work yet.
When you find yourself wanting to yell at a 20-year-old, take a walk around the block and look in the mirror and be like, why do I want to yell at a 20-year-old? They're not, it's like yelling at a toddler. And I don't mean to infantilize 20-year-olds. I was a literal moron when I was 20, but it's like, what they're going to be like, you know what? I appreciate that feedback. And I will completely change my tune and be an adult.
No, of course.
But don't you think the idea that this person is having a wedding specifically to spite her is ridiculous.
Yeah, it rings a little crazy.
Possibly
What do you
not.
mean possibly?
I'm suspicious of everyone in this family.
I always
hate this family.
I trust OP, and I think we are bringing OP the wisdom. I think you hit the nail on the head, Andrea.
Thank
There
you so
is
much.
no point for her to go off. What she needs to do is realize is A, this 20-year-old is obsessed with her and actually really looks up to her.
Yeah.
And the way to approach this is to do nothing or to have a nice level-headed conversation and say, hey, and say the truth, which really is, I'm hurt. I'm hurt that you didn't go to my wedding.
Option C, crash her wedding. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
please.
oh, well,
Stop,
she's going to
Andrea.
get invited.
Yeah.
She's going to be there.
Aaron B writes, y'all both sound petty. You already cut her out of your business. Now it's time to stay out of hers.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that.
actually with Aaron B. Like, I don't think it's worth having this sit-down conversation.
Probably
This
not.
person's just going to dig their heels in. Again, it's also hard to, like...
Heels that she stole from you!
Exactly, the wedding shoes. I feel like also it's kind of hard to really, like, accuse someone of copying you and get it to sink in. What I would just do is, like, just not comply what she's kind of doing with her petty non-compliance. Like, not answer her texts about the wedding vendors and just let her figure it out on her own. Like, if she really wants to copy her wedding, she can do the legwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to get divorced anyways. Fine.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Sometimes doing nothing is the best option.
Yeah.
Love that.
Powerful.
Jesse D writes, you don't sound much older, and the whole quote, she is copying me, just brings you down to her level. The first part I would have sided with you, but you had to keep going. YAH, which I think means you're an asshole.
Yeah, I
don't
didn't
know.
change it. Just
Or
'cause
we could just read it, but you had to keep going. Yeah. Grow
Yeah.
a pair, be an adult, and move on. I don't love the phrase grow a pair.
No, it's
No.
sexist. But also, we don't know how old OP is, which I also would like to know.
Yeah.
Because she makes a point to be like, well, she's 20, but it's like, all right, what are you, 22? Like, then it
Yeah.
doesn't change things.
Right.
That is true.
Right.
Young on young crime is very common. You know what I mean? When it's like this 20-year-old and it's like, well,
Yeah.
because I
It's
wouldn't
like, you're
even,
20 and a half.
I wouldn't even be sneezing at a 20-year-old at this point. Like 20-year-olds talk to me and I'm like, okay, we'll talk later. In 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did a show and these two girls came up to me and I'm not going to lie, they were pretty cute. And then I was like, I don't know. I think I just said, like, how old are you guys? And they were like, I'm 22. And I was just like, I'm 30. And
Yeah.
that worked. That ended the conversation very rapidly, like just stressing how old I am.
Some teenagers hit on me when I was on a bike. And I think maybe because I was
Yeah.
like on a bike.
You look great on a bike.
Thank you so much.
I've always thought a bike was your look.
Yeah, I'm athletic. I have strong legs. And they hit on me, and I just like sped past them, just being like, "I'm 30."
Nice.
Yeah, and
Like,
it was,
into the distance. It's hilarious.
I'm a witch.
Sarah C writes, total side observation that can't be confirmed, but every petty ass adult I've ever heard say, quote, she's copying my wedding, has a Pinterest folder, 5K deep, and a complete blind spot for irony. You're not that unique, and lots of people like the same things you like. Get over it. So true.
I'm kind of with her, especially when it comes to weddings. You know, it's like, oh, you had mason jars, groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh, you have tea lights? Okay, wow, call Oprah.
Yeah, you're all gonna post a throwback Thursday of a picture of you looking super hot in your wedding dress and your dad cropped out. You're all doing the same thing. I don't care. You're all getting divorced. The world is on fire. Move on.
The world is up.
Yes, Australia's on fire.
Oh, yeah. Is that still going on?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I thought they had the floods, so the fires were kind of were over, but then the floods had overtaken the fires.
Yeah, it's pretty biblical.
It's the 10 plagues. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, I'm obsessed with the coronavirus.
But, also shoes, very important stuff to be
Yeah, your
care
fucking
about.
wedding shoes.
Yeah.
AITA, if I go off on my cousin and call her out on her shit, I think we agree everyone sucks here?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say YTA.
YTA, we don't think the cousin's an asshole after doing that at the wedding?
She's the asshole for... Because the real issue is not that she skipped the wedding. The issue really, that's kind of just...
the whole thing.
No, the issue really is that she feels like she's copying her. I think that's really the lead.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, yeah, I'm not saying that the cousin is like completely without fault, but it's like, yeah, you're going to be in the wrong if you confront her. You're not going to get what you want. It's not going to be worth it.
I haven't talked to my cousins in years, and I feel great. I would highly recommend.
Nice.
Yeah.
So wait, you're not going ESH?
Yeah, because I think like
Ugh.
there's not enough that we know.
Well, I guess that's a draw. Well, I did put a little bit of a teaser up there earlier about my faux pas with Andrea. Andrea, do you want to tell the story?
Oh, are we talking about proportions?
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
I love
What's this going to be?
Okay, so this is years, but how long have we known each other for?
I think this was 5 years ago. It was at least 4 years.
Yeah, so 5 years ago, this was before Danny was a taken man.
And I was still drinking at the time.
No, I mean we were both single at this time.
Well, no, and that means it was over 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. Were you still drinking when this happened?
I have been sober for 5 years, so I think
Okay.
I think I was still drinking. I
Okay.
pray.
I might have also been still drinking too.
There we go.
What a bunch of trash bags we used to be. We were at an open mic in an Irish pub, which was really a sad state of affairs for both of us. And we met, I believe I had seen you maybe once or twice around before.
I'd seen you around.
Yeah, I mean, you'd seen a certain part of my body around.
Yeah, I'd taken a few pictures. None of your business.
Oh my God. I wonder how many people have taken pictures of me at open mics that I don't know about.
That's so weird.
Okay, so Danny came up to me. Actually, I believe I came up to you. I'm not sure who initiated, but I thought you were funny. I always thought you were funny.
Oh my God.
And I thought you were cool, and I wanted to make friends with you. And I said,
Gray there.
yeah, I know, right? If only I'd known.
Everyone who does it regrets it.
Yeah, that's fair. And you said, I don't know how you breached the topic of my proportions.
What?
But he looked me up and down. Yes. And he told me, first he bought me a Peloton, and then
I forgot about that part.
he told me that I had interesting proportions.
Excuse me?
Now, listener, you can't hear my fat ass on the mic, but I do have, and I'm not.
It was true. It was true.
I do have a body type that is a little Kardashian-esque. I also am thinner on top and then thick on the bottom. So none of your goddamn business, but men have commented, especially men that I've dated, have been like, oh, you're heroin chic on top and you're a whole different category on the bottom.
What the okay.
Yeah, no, I know. It's literally insane that he said any of this.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's insane. But I mean, it's like I would have a female friend who would be like, yo, what's going on with that? I'm also a white girl with a huge butt. So it's like, it's not something that I'm like, you can't ever comment on this. I'm very aware of it. I've been aware of it my whole life.
Creepy. It was creepy.
It was majorly creepy. Were you hitting on me?
I think I was.
Yeah.
I think I was. Because then I don't really know the cycle of our friendship, but then I remember we went to see Doug Stanhope.
Yes.
And I loved it because I think you paid me right away for the tickets.
Oh, yeah. I was like throwing money at you, being like, this is
You're
not.
like, I don't know you
a
shit.
date.
Yes.
But I loved it, and you did it at the top, and I think because of that, there was no pressure, because I was like, oh, okay, that's so cool. Then we are here just as friends. There's a 0% chance this is going to happen.
And I then fucked one of your friends. And I remember, do you remember this? We were outside of a comedy club. You said something snarky to me. You used to be a lot snarkier than you are now, if you can even believe it, listener. But meow,
Wait,
catty.
who did you? Oh, yeah.
I fucked probably your best friend at the time.
Yeah.
And you said something snarky to me, and I was like, what, are you upset that I fucked your friend? And he was there, and we were both like, we had sex, and you didn't. So, like, I also sent you an ass pic.
What?
Once.
Oh,
I'm third wheeling. Should I just go?
That sounds familiar. I think you gave me one of the generics. Like,
yeah.
I think you played it off like I've sent this to a lot of people, so
and
I didn't feel
did,
special. Yeah,
I did, because I think like
that ruined it. By the way, I don't think I ever
feel like
used
it's
it.
too risky to save that shit on your phone.
I mean, I live a very risky life.
I like that.
I mean, Andrew, you posted your ass on Instagram. I mean, it's no secret.
So we know it's a good ass.
Yeah.
Okay, noted.
I even sent the ass pic to one of my immigration lawyers by accident. So,
oh my God.
So like, it's been out there, but like,
and he's like, all right, I'm going to defend you to the best of my abilities.
Oh, he was like, to the death. This woman needs to be in America. But I don't know. I guess that was how you shot your shot back then. You know,
was to be snarky.
I think so.
That
yeah,
tracks.
yeah. So I don't know.
I've forgotten my game. You know, it's I'm in a relationship for 5 years.
Interesting proportions. The word interesting is kind of neggy too.
Yeah, I think it was kind of negative.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said that, because I remember one time you and I were talking about the only time that I've ever been like, knock on wood, trolled / body shamed on Instagram was like some person made a burner account to comment on one of my pictures to be like, your body shape is so weird and fat. And you were like, yeah, a woman totally wrote that because no guy would ever put the words body shape together.
Yeah, proportions over
Yeah.
here.
Right?
All right, Sarah, I wrote the comment.
Yes.
I was in a bad
All
mood.
right.
There's nothing wrong with it. I was on my period.
He's got a Peloton on back order.
Oh.
I mean, were you just trying to sleep with me, or did you ever like me?
Oh, I think I just wanted to sleep with you.
Wow. Ouch.
I really like you now.
No, I know. I'm totally curious. I never liked you either.
I was very well, we have a lot in common. See?
Yeah.
I don't
Like
know.
that.
That was a long time ago. I don't really know. I mean, I don't think I was like you're tall too. You know,
What the
well, I'll
fuck?
be honest. One of the most beautiful women that that was ever attracted to me, if you can believe this,
Yes.
was taller than me, and by a foot, like a lot.
Oh, so I fit into this box of like giant Amazon who I want to sit on me type thing.
Well,
Which
I'm not.
this happens to me, by the way, a lot.
Oh, and they
How
want
tall
to
are you?
I'm 5'11".
Okay.
But like I have a very aggressive personality, as some would
You
say.
have a 6'4" personality.
Yeah, I
Love
have
that.
I have a big personality
Yeah.
and a fat ass and a lot of tiny little
Put that
men.
in your Instagram bio.
Thank you. Oh, don't worry, it's out there.
Okay, great.
A lot of tiny men like want to put on a diaper and have me sit on them. Like there's just something about me that evokes this.
No,
I
think
hope
I'm
that
the
you're
op-
using
yeah.
that to your advantage and charging
Oh,
money for it.
Yeah, I need a pay pig.
You need to
Good.
do Just Fans or whatever it's called. But no, yes.
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans.
Why do I know that?
So I paid for it and canceled. She didn't post enough. Anyway, so yeah, no, I was making out with this really beautiful woman.
Yeah.
and I just her hips were like significantly wider than my hips, and
Yeah.
she felt bigger than me in every way, and I just found it a complete turn off.
You're very weird about body stuff though. You have a lot of issues with body stuff.
I think it's pretty common.
What do you mean? Oh, like
I think me being turned off is a somewhat of a male thing. I mean,
being turned off by a woman who's bigger than you?
yes, men
sure.
being bigger than women is like a mammalian thing. Like the vast majority of mammals have that pattern. It's like a thing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I agree 100% with that. I do believe that it fits with like gender norm bullshit, you know, like tiny housewife, big, strong, bulky man, but you're a cube. You know what I mean? Like you're a human cube. Like you're a small square man. You're outside of the gender norms too. So why?
Well, wait, a square? What do you mean?
Like you
'cause
have a
I'm weak?
cube-like body. You know
You
what
don't
I
have
mean?
like the man, like bodybuilder triangle situation.
No,
If we're all gonna body shame Danny right now,
Sure, go pile it on.
I mean-
cube. I don't think I'm a cube. I think that to me says stocky. I think I'm a twink.
How tall are you?
People have told me I'm not a twink, actually.
You're not. You're like an otter, maybe.
Yeah, I'm a little otter.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that there's some hypocrisy in wanting quote unquote traditional tiny dainty female archetypes
Andrea,
you are not the
I think you're doing that
That's
thing
true.
where you're like,
Mass-
it's all culture. It's all. No, I'm saying, don't you prefer a taller man?
no.
Really?
No.
You want to date a guy who's shorter
I
than you?
actually
I have
don't
dated men who are
really
shorter than me.
prefer taller guys. Like I really do fuck with a
Don't you
dude
want him to be
who's shorter.
taller than you?
That's a pretty low bar.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're.
I have
tiny.
dated.
So yeah, but I'll fuck with like a 5'5" dude. Like I don't care. The problem is a lot
But
of them
you're
have like a
5'4".
Napoleon complex. I'm
Yeah.
5'2".
Yeah.
So I'm right. You generally would prefer. a
I
guy.
mean, but that's not traditionally tall. Like,
Sure.
I'm not out here being like
I
he's
said
got to be
tall.
6
I
feet.
said taller. It's a relational thing. I'm not like trying to find a 4-foot girl.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also not.
Okay, I've looked.
Here we are.
I'll refer a friend. No, she's 4'8".
I have dated men shorter than me. And like you said, if a man is shorter than me and has the confidence to go out with me, like to be out on these streets and I'm like this
Yep.
Amazon bitch, I think it's so fucking hot
No,
when
that's
he's like,
also.
look
But
at
then he's
me.
probably also an asshole.
Yeah. But like, well, all men are assholes. Come on, what are you talking about? But like, to me, it's all about attitude. And also
Yeah.
like, I find that short men and like, I have a stand-up bit, one of my openers is about the way that men react to my largeness, my tallness. And I find that short men and tall women experience kind of the same treatment by society. We don't fit into the traditional gender norms and we're
Okay.
alienated for that. So it's like, I don't understand why short men are so angry and tall women just have to take it. Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't we just all fuck who we want to fuck and relax about it. I don't think it's about mating habits.
Well,
I don't like tracing a common preference back to like evolution and like other species.
Short men are angry because it's hard for them.
And it's hard for tall women too.
Of course, I think tall women should be angry.
I'm not.
Well, I think it's great that you're not, but I think there's a very valid reason short men are angry, and it's a thing I notice a lot.
Stop being angry. Just go meet someone who appreciates
That's the
you
thing.
for
Like
you.
women don't really get the same license to be angry because then we're
Who's
like
giving them the
bitches
license,
and
Sarah?
society.
Nobody likes a short man.
We're just saying that we do. What are you talking
I'm just
about?
saying that
We literally both just said that. We're like, yeah, I fuck with a short dude. Like, I like it.
I think you guys are full of shit. I think first
Do you want to?
I dated a man who was
I'm like, do you want the names and numbers?
Sarah, no offense, you're so short that there are virtually no short men for you.
Yeah, but okay.
So you don't know. I think that's fair to say.
No, because if someone's like 5'5", 5'6", they're still considered short.
No, but they're not short to you, so that you wouldn't get this
they
because they're
are
a potential partner. But what I'm saying is, when you're 5'6" or 5'5", like a lot of women are, you are shorter than a lot. Well, what's the average woman? 5'6", right? So if you're a 5'4" guy, every woman is taller than you. Like something like 90% of women are taller than you, and most of them, I will say this, that most of them will outright just be like, I'm not attracted to you for that.
Okay, but then also there's men who have been like, I'm not attracted to you because you're bigger than me. You know what I mean? And I actually don't think, I think if we removed all of the weird like mating, the stuff that you're talking about, like he needs to be able to protect me or she needs to be tiny and I have to hold her in my hand like a weird little doll. If we removed all of that, if we all just decide to throw that out, it's interesting what we are attracted to. Like, why is it that we say we don't like big women or women who have weight on them? And then we look at porn and like what everyone's jerking it to. And it is that, you know what I mean? And there's lots of men who have been attracted to me, but have wanted to quote unquote hide it because they feel like it's weird that they like a bigger woman. But then when we're together or we're having sex or we're being intimate, they're like, oh my God, I love how like thick you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're saying we don't have these preferences, but we actually do behind closed doors. So what the fuck is, what's the...
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can say whatever you want, but the preferences run deeper than what you think.
Yeah, so your preference is for a small woman.
Of course.
But we're not saying
I don't know if that's true.
It's hot. Yeah, it's hot. It's hotter for a girl to be smaller because I feel more dominant and in charge.
That's fine to say that for you, but...
I think it's true for 90% of men.
I would disagree.
I mean...
Yeah, I think your problem runs into like when you try to apply this for society, and that's probably true for a majority of people because that's what
majority.
People... Fine, but to go ahead and say 90% of people...
90% of men.
Yeah, because then what area does that put me in? Freak show? You know what I mean?
Why do you have to be a freak? I'm not saying you're a freak. I'm empathizing with you. I'm saying there's a reason short men are angry. It's because the dating pool is shittier for them. And if you were angry and you said, I have to find guys that are taller than me. Aren't you only 5'11", by the way? That's not that tall.
Yeah, it's pretty tall.
It's tall for a woman.
It's pretty tall for a woman, but a lot of men are over 6 foot. Like, that's not an insane number. If you were 6'2", then you'd be in real fucktown because then it's like we're talking about 5% of men.
Fucktown.
Yeah, or shit town.
But not fucktown because apparently she wouldn't be able to fuck anyone if she was 6'2".
Everyone would just be hiding, putting me behind
but
closed
also
doors.
the example you used from the outset, like guys want me to sit on them, and it's like, well, yeah, but I mean, I have all kinds of crazy sexual fantasies.
Sure.
There's a subset of women who I would fuck that I would not be like, I wouldn't feel comfortable walking around with.
I think that's gross. I think you're gross for that.
But I don't know that I can just be like, I decide that that's gross and therefore I won't be like that. I mean, I don't want to masturbate every day, but I still do it because I can't stop.
Let's isolate that
I don't
clip.
understand the analogy of that, but okay.
It's a fantasy that you can change every part of yourself. Like, you don't, like, for instance, like, I would never want to cheat on my girlfriend because I love her. But would I want to hang out with, like, a really hot girl that I was crazily attracted to all of the time and, like, we're hanging out alone? Like, I wouldn't want to put myself in that situation because I know that I'm a human being.
I just think that what
So
you're...
then, by that logic, couldn't you hang out in public with someone that you liked and were fucking even if they weren't conventionally, like, attractive?
I could do it, but I'm saying I might...
But you're scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's shitty. I think it falls into...
shitty.
I think it falls into the same category of, like, you know how we talk about like black porn being like a taboo thing, but it's like that's just a black person. You know what I mean? Or
that's
bigger
a category?
Yeah, it is a category. So it's like fetishizing those who are other than you and getting turned on by their otherness, but then publicly being like, gross is gross.
Yeah, people do
it
that
is
a
gross,
lot.
but I think let me put it this way: if someone was like, "Hey, you know, I'm entering an interracial couple and I'm uncomfortable about it," I wouldn't be like, "You're a fucking bigot." I'd be like, "You know what? I understand that. That's a lot of pressures. That's a lot of comments. That's a lot of eyes that you have to deal with."
I think in 2020, get over it.
In New York City.
Yeah, sure. I think in 2020, I'm uncomfortable with being in an interracial couple should be something that we should be scoffing at. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I would scoff here, but if they were in Kansas City, I would be like, I get it. I get why you're uncomfortable. It's not wrong to be uncomfortable.
Move.
Okay, well, if you're going to be like that.
What was the question? Are you the asshole for reducing me to a piece of meat and then?
No. I mean, I just
was
feel
Danny the asshole for trying to hit on you by talking about your body proportions? Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
a big, huge asshole for that.
Yeah, I was amused by you though. To be honest, I wasn't like offended.
Did you pat me on the head?
Yeah,
like, you little.
I was like, I'm going to toy with this moron for a while and then have him on my podcast and bring it up.
Yes, and then bring it up again 5 years later on another podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like, I can take things with a grain of salt. And also, like, you were a smart, interesting person and I remain friends with you. So to me, I just chalked it up as funny. It's also like if I had to get upset with all the inappropriate things that people say to me all the time, I would be dead. So I'm just going to go, that's misinformed and hilarious and also weird. Who's this weird man?
Yeah.
I want to spend more time with him.
I was trying. I was trying something.
Yeah.
Well, Andrea, it's been great to have you on the pod.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Tell these people where they can find you and your booty. Hey, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? I actually do have an Instagram for my ass that I did.
That's hilarious.
Is it bad that now I want to check it out?
Oh, absolutely.
We've been talking about it for like 15 minutes.
I know, I've been playing this up. What if I just had like a flat ass? I assure you I do not.
Right. Andrea's going to get me to subscribe to her OnlyFans account.
I made an only ass Instagram after a particularly bad breakup. And it's called Hot Ass Cold Cuts, and it's my ass photoshopped with snack food next to it.
Wait, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, can I ask a technical question?
Sure.
How do you take an ass pic because you can't do a selfie?
Ooh,
I've tried.
That's a good question.
It's selfie sticks don't work either.
Yep.
So what do you do?
Okay, so there's a couple different schools of thought here. I like to, depending on what type of ass pic you like to do, you could put your phone on a pile of books.
Yes.
And then have an object behind it so the phone can sit upright.
Okay. I have a lot of books.
Then
this is good.
because you're a learned, well-rounded woman.
Of course.
And then you turn the phone camera to reverse so it's facing you, and you put it on timer so that you can see the photo being taken. You also have some time to position yourself for the ass pic.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Okay. You also can do in front of the bathroom mirror, turn away so that your ass is facing the mirror, get the phone over your shoulder, get the picture in the mirror.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, that's
doing
a classic.
Science,
Yep.
doing angles. I'm trying to think what else. Mirrors are your best bet.
Okay.
And
good to know.
placing things on hard objects and putting on timers.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Someone will thank you for this advice.
Yes, please. I'm out here just spreading positivity. The ass Instagram is Hot Ass Cold Cuts. I'm single again, so please slide into my DMs.
Follow it.
And then you can follow me at Andrea Comedy 69 that's my other Instagram. I'm an adult woman. Hot Mess Comedy Hour is our podcast. Please do check that out. Danny has been on. I would love to have Sarah on.
Woo!
And just
And is your stand-up special?
Oh, yeah.
I actually edited.
You did.
Parts of it, or I did a lot of work on it, at least.
You did. Yeah, you edited.
It's great. It's a great set. I was there. I was there at the show.
You were in the
an
front
amazing
row.
Performance.
I appreciate that.
And it is much better, I think, to watch it as well. It's not.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
You are such a dynamic performer.
Thank you very much. Yes, I have. So I put out a comedy EP last year called Gonzo. And you can buy the video of it at keithandthegirl.com/Andrea or katg.com/Andrea, or you can stream it for free on Spotify if you want to be cheap, or you can buy it on iTunes. But You can do everything through my social media. That's the way to get in touch with me. And yeah.
Well, thanks again, and we'll see you guys next Monday morning.
Bye.